You would think that the choppy ocean waters out in the tropics would have been a safe place to go for relaxation, rest, and some great sun. That's what I thought too. But now, I'm struggling to keep the rest of the crew locked out onto the ship, and I'm trying to keep myself in the wheel hub. I'm getting ahead of myself. It started a week ago. Ladies' Sunday was a special that a bunch of people had gotten. A half-priced cruise for females only. The idea was that it had been marketed to people who needed a break. As a mother of 3, one of them just having turned 16, that was me. I left the kids home with the hubby and came out for what should have been the best time of my life. And it was, for about 2 days. We swam on the above-deck pool, had spas at no cost to us, and ate from the most amazing buffet ever. Then, Denise got sick. She was throwing up, sweaty, pale, and feverish. They rushed her below deck to the medical ward and we brushed it off. Until Tanya got sick too. She kept it to herself at first and stayed on deck, refusing help, until she was bleeding from the nose. One of her teeth fell out in the meal hall. I saw it. Everyone was scared then. I went to go and talk to the captain of the ship to see what was going on, and I overheard him speaking to someone on the radio about a spreading contagion and a test. This was on purpose. They brought us out here into the middle of the ocean to serve as a test for whatever this is. A biological weapon? Maybe. He didn't know that I overheard. When I went in, he told me, "It's all under control, Miss Dowdy. Don't you worry about a thing. You just try to enjoy the remainder of your stay." But I did worry about it, especially as it spread through the other women on the ship. Charlie and Connie, sisters, they tried to convince everyone that we needed to just stay in our rooms and away from everyone. When no one wanted to listen, Connie pulled out a handgun. The crew did nothing. That's when I realized that I hadn't actually seen the crew in a while. I knew that the captain was still on board, but what about everyone else? I didn't have time to muse on it right then. Connie tried to shoot one of the women, but they charged her. The bullet hit Charlie instead, right between the eyes. It killed her. Connie, she went totally nuts. We didn't have any choice but to tie her up. We tried to march her down to the medical bay ourselves. When we got there, we found the door locked. Again, no staff. It was like everyone had left but just us and the captain. Becky picked the door open, and we went inside looking for our sick friend. We put Connie into one of the chairs. She was quiet now and bleeding out of the nose. We found Denise first, dead. She was handcuffed to the bed. Her eyes were wide open, and she had clearly been bleeding from the tear ducts. Blood from her nose had long since dried on her skin. And her body? It was twisted. It looked like she had been in pain when she died. "Where's Tanya?" I asked. We looked around. There was a bed that had blood on it. A handcuff was hanging to one side of it. The cufflink was coated in blood. There was a rattling from the far side of the room. Tanya was standing facing the wall, her arms hanging limp at her side. One hand was bloodied, bruised, and the fingers clearly had been broken in her attempt, successful as it had been, to get out of the cuffs. She was twitching, those full-bodied jerks. I knew instantly that something was majorly wrong and started to back up and out of the room, but no one else seemed to be of the same mindset. Becky called out, "Tanya, are you okay?" Tanya's head snapped around. There was blood coating her cheeks. Her pupils had gone milk white. She snarled, spraying spittle when she did, and then charged. She slammed into Becky and knocked her to the ground. Chaos broke out as she started to punch Becky, bringing her hands down with great force onto the other woman's face. Connie suddenly jumped up. There was blood running from her tear ducts, and she was clawing at her face.
It burns! It burns!
Her nails pulled away thick strips of skin. She was bleeding even more heavily. I didn't wait around to see what would happen. I just took off. That's how I ended up here, in the wheelhouse. The captain, when I got here, he was one of them. I guess that he wasn't as immune to the contagion as he thought. He tried to kill me, but I killed him first. And now I've got a problem. Originally, I was going to try and contact the Coast Guard, but the government won't let them come out here. Not if this was planned. The second option? Try and pilot it to an inhabited island myself. Difficult and a challenge, but not impossible. The problem is, I don't think that I should. See, a moment ago, I started bleeding from the nose, and now my vision's gone blurry. I think that I might be sick too. So I'm just going to take us out deeper into the ocean, and hopefully, someone important will get this message and know that if they come across our ship, if anyone comes across it, just leave it alone.